Hey, what's up everyone? Erica here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to do an episode of things you probably signed without reading. That's right, we're going to talk about NDAs. Those mysterious little documents that say shh louder than a chief's due on service. So whether you've signed one, ignored one, or folded it up and used it as a coaster for your coffee cup, we're going to unpack what NDAs actually mean for yacht crew, how they should work, and what to do if things get a bit murky. Now, I'll do my best to read this one out, but it is a little tricky when I've got lots and lots of quotes in it, so I'll try and make it make sense and hopefully you enjoy it. As always, give me your thoughts and your feedback, please, below in the comments. Or drop me an email or a private message somewhere if you're feeling brave. So let's get into it. I wrote this for Dockwalk in 2025. It's called Sign on the Dotted Line, Are NDAs Silencing Super Yacht Crew? When I got the job, it came with a confidentiality agreement that was longer than my SEA, says one former chief officer. It covered everything from guest names to what shampoo their dog used. In the world of super yachting, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, are nothing new. But some crew are raising concerns about how they're used and in some cases abused. While owners have every right to protect their privacy, what happens when these agreements are used to keep crews silent about things they should be speaking up about? So what exactly is an NDA? An NDA is a legal agreement designed to protect confidential information from being shared. In yachting, that typically means protecting the identity of the owner or guests, details of the itinerary, or technical and operational specifics of the vessel. The NDA is simply a contract between two parties, explains Michael T. Moore of Moore & Company Yacht Lawyers in Florida. We're certainly seeing more of them now as owners seek that extra level of protection for their privacy. Benjamin Maltby, partner at UK firm Keystone Law, adds, they can serve legitimate purposes like protecting the ultimate beneficial owner's private life. But he also warns that they are unenforceable or void if they contravene statutory prohibitions like preventing whistleblowing or victim disclosures under the new Victims and Prisoners Act 2024, or if they are used improperly to silence individuals or cover up wrongdoing. So in short, no NDA can legally prevent a crew member from reporting criminal conduct, discrimination, or unsafe practices. Where NDAs cross the line. There are, of course, legitimate reasons for NDAs. This is one captain says, don't post Instagram selfies with guests. Don't TikTok on or around the yacht. Don't tweet the yacht's location in real time. Basic discretion is part of the job. Owners and guests are often high profile and this is their time to relax in privacy. NDAs make it clear that privacy is paramount. Moore adds, generally, they're used legitimately to protect the owner's business and personal interests. Anything that's confidential, like trade secrets and copyright issues, intellectual property, all these need protecting, and NDAs prevent anyone sharing this information with third parties. But Angela Wallace, purser trainer and former head of the PYA Welfare Group, says she has seen NDAs used as tools of intimidation, especially against inexperienced or non-native English-speaking crew. She says, a lot of green crew have no idea what they're signing. There's often no onboarding explanation, and if they post something on social media, they're blissfully unaware of the consequences. She stresses that it's vital crew read and understand the contents of any contract before signing and feel empowered to ask questions without fear of judgment. She continues, naturally, this intimidation comes from high-ranking personnel. Green crew are just so happy to have a job that often they'll put up with bullying or even harassment. Some may even believe it's normal or deserved, especially if they've experienced similar behaviour before. Language barriers and cultural dynamics can make it harder for some crew to speak up, particularly when the bullying is subtle. So exclusion, unrealistic tasks, or being deliberately left out of team communication. Some owners and captains go a step further. Wallace says, of course, what happens on the boat stays on the boat, right? And in many cases, the crew are compensated by cash or gifts for turning a blind eye. With owners who have a large team of lawyers, what young crew member will go against them, she says. Power dynamics on board can skew perceptions of what's acceptable. Junior crew, desperate to prove themselves, often won't question unreasonable or even illegal demands if the seniors don't. There's a culture of shut up and be grateful, says one stewardess. Even if someone crosses the line, you're made to feel like speaking up is career suicide. A deck officer confirms this. And you're just constantly told this is what happens in yachting. So if you want to keep your job, you just keep your head down. Another stewardess told us she didn't report verbal abuse from a senior officer because she'd signed an NDA and was terrified of being sued. The chief officer had told her just that. But as Maltby clarifies, NDAs are not intended to prevent the reporting of poor conduct by other crew members or the existence of unsafe practices. He adds that many NDAs are so broadly written they undermine themselves. Clauses defining confidential information are often so wide that they become unenforceable. All too often, NDAs are just copied from shore-based templates and are laughably unsuitable, he says. The bigger the paperwork, the dodgier the yacht, says a chef. I once had to sign an NDA because the boss was blatantly cheating on his wife. It said if the affair reached the wife, we could be liable for his legal costs. Not sure that would stand up in court, but it was enough to scare people into silence. Wallace confirms that NDAs are often used to keep crew from speaking out. I've seen cases where crew were told they couldn't talk, even in situations involving harassment or coercion. But an NDA is null and void when it comes to criminal acts, she says. This includes assault, harassment, unsafe working conditions and pollution. NDAs cannot be used to stop reports that involve safety, risk to life, injury or environmental damage. So who decides jurisdiction? With yachts operating across territories and flying flags of convenience, jurisdiction can be tricky. Moore explains, jurisdiction can be agreed in the NDA. It doesn't matter what the flag state is, it depends on what the parties have agreed. But when there's no jurisdiction stated, things get murkier. Maltby points to the 2024 case of Yacht Management Company Limited versus Gordon, where a UK employment tribunal agreed to hear a yacht stewardess's claim under UK law because she was paid into a UK bank account and paid UK taxes, even though the yacht had never entered UK waters. A good place to start, he advises, is legal advice in your country of residence. What NDAs leave behind? Even after leaving a vessel, NDAs can cast a long shadow. Some crew are reluctant to list yachts on their CVs or even talk about their experiences at all. I posted a sunset and got fired, right at the end of our season, says a former deckhand. Apparently the island in the background gave away our location. What he missed was the reflection of the yacht name on his crew shirt in the stainless steel he'd spent all afternoon polishing in the foreground of his aft-deck Santorini sunset shot. Name of yacht plus iconic blue and white Santorini cliffside villa photo equals, well, in this case, instant dismissal. Captain told me he wouldn't give me a reference that I'd breached contract and hoped I would learn my lesson. It took him a year to find another job. Wallace notes that fear of breaching NDAs, even when unenforceable, can lead to stress, isolation, and long-term career damage. Moore adds that NDAs should never last indefinitely. 3 years is the maximum I'd recommend, he says. Any longer is usually unenforceable. So what now? It's important to be absolutely clear. No NDA can force you to tolerate or stay silent about illegal, unsafe, or abusive behaviour. That includes harassment, assault, discrimination, coercion, or being asked to perform duties that are unethical or outside your role. If a captain or owner uses an NDA to intimidate you into silence, or worse, into compliance, that's not confidentiality, that's abuse of power. You didn't sign away your rights, says Wallace. If something's wrong, speak up. You don't need permission to do the right thing. If in doubt, contact Yacht Crew Help, Nautilus International, the PYA, or Changing Tack. All can offer support on NDAs, contracts, and crew welfare. You can also start with legal or welfare guidance in your country of residence, even if the yacht flies another flag. Now, to accompany this article, I did a side panel. These were NDA red flags for super yacht crew, because you know I love a red flag. So, number 1, sign this now or lose the job. If you're being rushed or pressured to sign, stop. Maltby says you should be given at least 10 days to review it and get independent advice. 2, vague or sweeping language. If confidential information includes everything from engine hours to guest allergies, that's too broad to be fair or enforceable. 3, clauses that gag whistleblowing. Illegal. NDAs can't stop you from reporting crimes, harassment, or safety risks. Ever. 4, lifetime silence. If there's no end date or the terms seem to last until the death of the universe, ask why. Moore says 3 years. Any longer, unenforceable. 5, no copy provided. You must keep a signed copy. If you're not given one, that's a huge red flag. How can you follow rules when you can't even read them? 6, no chance for independent advice. If you're not allowed to get legal guidance or consult your union, walk away. That's not confidentiality, that's control. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed that episode. As always, drop your comments below and tell me, have you been in any positions where you've had to sign an NDA that's turned out to be absolutely ridiculous? Or have you been in an unfortunate position where someone has abused their power and told you can't report this because you signed an NDA? Unfortunately, as we say, there are charlatans out there, like in all walks of life. But yeah. Anyway, give us your comments, look after each other, be aware, keep your eyes open, watch out for the dodgy ones, and I'll see you next time.